G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. So the moment has arrived. I knew this was coming, but it has hit like a ton of bricks. These withdrawals I'm starting to have from tapering these medications, in particular at the moment, lamotrigine. So the plan with lamotrigine, there was no real plan, as always with me, so I just sort of went cold turkey for a bit. Didn't work because horrendous withdrawals. That was actually a couple of weeks ago when I had the sweats, so that wasn't actually part of my tapering plan. But anyway, got a bit of experience there, a couple of days without it, not a good idea. So what I've done this time, or what I did, was I went from 200 milligrams, which is the top dose that I'm on, and halved it by 50% to 100 milligrams. And it appears that has been too steep of a drop because I've been having lots and lots of, well, the sweats have been here. There's been lots. The real issue has not been the sweating so much, although that definitely has been there. It's these brain zaps that I'm getting. So I started as brain zaps isolated in the head. I've spoken about brain zaps before. And then it progressed to zaps in the head and then traveling down my arms, and that's not very good. That's usually a sign that I'm real deep in the whole cold turkey sort of thing, even though, remember, I'm not quite going cold turkey, but anyway. And then what happens after that, or happened after that, is the brain zaps went down into my arms and then into my legs. So my whole body is zapping. I don't know if it's like a form of, like, if I'm having seizures, I'm not sure. I don't really understand this phenomenon, and no one else has been able to really put their finger on it as far as I go. But full body brain zaps, and that's not fun. And that's what happened going from 200 to 100 milligrams. It took about 4 days. I thought things were going good, and then bang. It's interesting because it's the same sort of withdrawal symptoms that I've gotten from antidepressants like SSRIs, SNRIs, that sort of stuff. Lamotrigine's a different class of drug. It's an anti-epileptic at its core, but it also works well for not borderline, bipolar disorder, especially those that present with more the depressive side of things. So it's been a bit weird. It feels like I'm coming off the clomipramine. If I had a blindfold and someone said, right, what is it you're withdrawing from? Where are these symptoms coming? Well, I would have said, clomipramine, definitely the clomipramine. But no, it's actually the lamotrigine. And that sort of scares me a little bit. One reason why I chose lamotrigine to taper off first is because of that whole memory problem link. But the other reason too was I thought it'd be a nice sort of easy introduction into tapering all of these medications one by one. I thought, on the balance of things, lamotrigine should be okay. Because if you go on some websites or look at some sources like the NHS in the UK, so the NHS guidelines say quite clearly that if you are using lamotrigine for bipolar, there's nothing wrong with coming off it cold turkey. They don't recommend a tapering plan because you don't need one. And I don't know how that's the case, because that's sort of why I tried to go pretty quickly when it comes to tapering down. Why I went bang, halved it straight away, because I'm reading stuff like that suggests that it's no dramas. You just got to do it, go through the process, but there's no real drawbacks. And unfortunately, that isn't proving to be the case with me. So here I am sitting now, and every time I look left, brain zap. Every time I look right, brain zap, which is interesting because I did a bit of research on the brain zap phenomena, trying to understand what's going on. And the literature is pretty clear in that it's not clear and they don't know really what it is. But at the same time, it's definitely something that a lot of people go through. And they think it's got something to do with lateral eye movement. So if I look to the left, which I just did, and then to the right, I get a bit of a zap. And that's what the research says. It seems to be connected with this lateral eye movement. So I always thought I'd get the zaps whenever I turn my head around and sort of move and sort of have jerky sort of movements. But it appears if I keep my eyes straight and then move my head without moving them, if that makes sense, so they're locked in to my head. My eyes aren't moving, but my head is what I'm trying to say. And what happens there is I don't really get a zap, maybe a little one, but not really. I don't really get much. But when it's that lateral eye movement from left to right, right to left, that's where the pain and the phenomena that is brain zap seems to occur. What's interesting though about the withdrawals so far is all of my symptoms, it's all physical. So I haven't had any mental component to these withdrawals at all. My anxiety hasn't gotten worse. My depressive sort of feelings haven't come back, and I feel as regulated as I usually am. There hasn't been much difference on the mental health front, which is more what I expected. But at the same time, the physical response has been huge, and I'm a bit sort of shocked by it. But anyway, you just got to get into it. So what I'm doing now is I've had to, because I had to leave work early the other day. Like it renders me incapable of functioning like a normal human would out in the community. You just can't do it. I've got to lay in bed and sort of, well, I don't know, just write it out. But what I have done, because I can't miss work if I can help it. So I've quickly gone, this is also probably the worst thing to do, but I quickly went back to the top dose just to get it in my brain again. And now I'm tapering down 150 milligrams, so just dropping by 50 this time for a week, and then reassess, and then hopefully drop to 100, continue on from there. So there you go. So withdrawals have already kicked in. But what's interesting, like I said, is it's not mentally based. You know, all of these side effects are all physiological. You know, I'm not feeling depressed. I'm not feeling more anxious than normal, which that part I expected. But these withdrawals, these physical withdrawals are so much like... So the hardest antidepressant I've ever withdrawn from was definitely venlafaxine or Effexor. So it's an SNRI, and it was brutal. And I cold turkeyed that, which was stupid. But anyway, at the time I thought it was a good idea. And that was brutal. But I would say these brain zaps and the sort of the sweats and the, you know, I'm a bit unstable on foot, and, you know, I'm very tired and sleeping a lot. I reckon this is at least on par with venlafaxine, if not worse. So there you go. And it's from lamotrigine. It's not from the clomipramine as you may expect. It's not the antidepressant. So I don't know. I'm going to keep looking into that, but I'll keep you updated all the way with how my progress is going. So it's a bit of a 1 step forward, 2 steps back sort of thing at the moment, but I think maybe if I do it properly, this could actually work. But like I said, it's very unusual because the NHS in England, in the UK, not just England, Scotland and Wales as well, in the UK, very, very reputable, very much so. And they made it very clear you do not need the taper. So I do not know what's going on there, but it is hard to ascertain, you know, everything that's going on caused by one medication, because there's another 7 or 8 of them doing their thing as well. So anyway, watch this space. There's going to be plenty more withdrawals. I have a funny feeling coming, and hopefully I can answer some of those questions I've posed today throughout the journey as well. But as it stands right now, still no alcohol. Lamotrigine is being tapered. No nicotine as well. I should make more of a note of that. I haven't had a vape in 2 weeks now, and it feels like maybe I'm over the hump, and that's pretty cool. So, you know, there's a lot going on at the moment. A lot of tapering off things that I know are not good for me, but it's I've just been sort of pushing that away. You know, it's too hard basket, especially the nicotine stuff. But it's good. It's a good feeling that even though I'm sitting here right now, jumbling words up a little bit, sweating, and, you know, feeling pretty terrible. But the good thing is the anguish that I'm feeling now is an investment in the future. And that's what it's all about. I'm making sacrifices right now to have a better, brighter future. And that is the key. And that's what I've got to keep focusing on. It's very much to do with that meaning and purpose sort of idea. But that's drifting onto a deeper topic, which I do not have the stamina for today. But that is all from me for now. So well and truly in the withdrawal stages now. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but we're still pushing. You know what? You know, I'm still going. It's like rocking the 14th. Bring it on, baby. Let's go. All right. Thank you for listening, everyone. I'll see you next time here on the Dysregulated podcast.